One of the most legendary centre-backs of all time. But even he could not gain the support of the Milan faithful. This is the story of Paolo Maldini's bitter farewell from football. When you say the name Paolo Maldini, instantly you think legendary, iconic defender. In his senior career, he played 647 times for AC Milan between 1984 and 2009. Only Gianluigi Buffon has more Serie A caps than Paolo Maldini. He won 25 trophies with Milan, including 5 Champions League titles, 7 Serie A titles. So why do the Milan Ultras not show Maldini the respect he deserves? As the captain, sometimes Maldini had to make tough decisions, remarks about his players and the fans, and often this would rub fans the wrong way. In 1997-98 season, Maldini openly criticised Milan fans for throwing objects onto a pitch and having the match temporarily suspended. That following year, when Milan won the Serie A title, Maldini refused to celebrate with those fans. This was just the start of their tenuous relationship. Now, we all know what unfolded on that fateful night in Turkey, but it actually started off so well for Maldini. Within the first minute of the Champions League final, he had scored, giving AC Milan the 1-0 lead. By halftime, it was 3-0 and they looked to be cruising. Of course, that did not happen. Liverpool managed to turn things around and in the end brought the Champions League back to England. On the performance, Maldini had said, "We played well, better than Liverpool, but that's football." Maldini, as the captain, was obviously not going to come out and slate the performances of certain players in his team. Unfortunately for Paolo, when they arrived in Milan that next morning, they were greeted by a small portion of AC Milan Ultras who did not share the same view that he had on the game. An angry exchange followed between the fans and the player, with the Ultras in the end claiming that Maldini had labelled them as mercenaries. As we know, Italian fans are very passionate and they never let this one go. Of course, 2 years later, Milan and Maldini would get their revenge on Liverpool and he would lift his 5th UEFA Champions League trophy. It seemed to be the perfect redemption story that Paolo Maldini needed in order to get the Ultras back on his side. Unfortunately for him, while their European and even Club World Cup success was evident, in the league, Milan had started to slip. What's worse is that Inter were just starting to fly under Jose Mourinho. The general consensus among fans was that owner Silvio Berlusconi had been wasting the club's money. After being a powerhouse for so many years, Milan fans were right to question the ownership. What was unfortunate for Paolo Maldini was this was to be his last season at the club. It was disdain for Silvio Berlusconi that would be Paolo Maldini's downfall. Maldini was still the one club man. If you cut him, he would bleed red and black. But no one was to expect what would happen on Maldini's final game. His teammates came out with t-shirts that said "Grazie Paolo, grande capitano," which, to be honest, was about as good as it got for Maldini that day. Milan lost the match 3-2 and by doing so lost out on second place. But it was the Milan faithful that would ruin Maldini's day. The Milan Ultras unfurled banners that said, "For your 25 years of glorious service, you have the thanks of those who you called mercenaries and misers. Thanks, captain. On the pitch, you were an undying champion, but you had no respect for those who made you rich." And for someone who had dedicated that bigger part of his life, let alone his career, it upset Maldini, and on his final walk around the ground, he was in tears. With regards to those fans, he said, "I am proud to be nothing like them." This has somewhat remained the same ever since. Maldini and Milan is of course a family affair, and his son Daniel does play for AC Milan. Although I'm sure Daniel knows just how those fans treated his father all those years earlier. A sad end to one of the greatest footballing careers we've ever seen. Hopefully most of us know what he was all about. Being a loyal, honest, reliable leader, a great defender, and a one club man.